What is up, guys? Welcome everyone to a new golf making video. So in this one I'm gonna be showing you an steady golf farm that basically has no special requirements. You can do this without the latest expansion, without any profession, and even without a specific class, right? Although it will be slightly better if you're using a druid, but if you're using anything else, it's somewhat relatively viable as well, right? So we are going to be farming for a reagent, or maybe the more common name, which is material, right? We're going to be farming for some material. This really old, but is selling extremely well, even today, almost as fast as any of the current content items. And basically, this item is always going to continue to stay relevant because it's an item that is going to be used for high value transmogs, a lot of epic items, right? A lot of purple text items. And then basically, this is relatively more recent, but they added, the housing decor items 1-2 years ago, somewhere around that, and basically they added some crafts that you can do with this item as well, right? So this is going to be an item that is always going to have demand and is selling really well, right? So let's take a look at this item on the autumn house. Let me close this. Yeah. Okay, so this one is going to be the item, right? Mode of mana. As you can see, the prices now, they are going for like 30 gold each, which is pretty decent. And as you can see, if I hover over it, it says use turn 10 modes of mana into primal mana, right? So once you have 10 of these, you can right click and boom, you're gonna have a primal mana, right? Which as of now, they are going more expensive, 1 primal mana than 10 of the modes of mana, right? So the trick here basically is what you wanna do is you wanna check both of the prices of these items and you wanna see what is the most expensive, right? Because there are going to be people that of course they're going to be checking, right? And they're going to be checking both the mode of mana and the primal mana to see what's the most, what's the cheapest to buy it, right? But you want to realize there is also a lot of people that are not even really, they're not really thinking about it, or they are just in a rush, they want to like craft certain item, whatever. They are not really thinking about this. They would just either look for the primal mana or the mode of mana, and they would just choose one of those two, right? So I recommend you to try to sell the one that is the most expensive, even though it might take a little bit of time to sell, but both of them are selling extremely well, right? This one has a sell rate of 0.064, which is really good. It's not going to sell instantly, right? But it's going to sell relatively fast. And the amount of mana, you can see the region sell rate is 0.52, which is absolutely crazy. This is selling much faster than the majority of the current content items, by the way, right? Sells extremely fast. So yeah, now, having said all of that, let's take a look at where we are going to be farming this, because this is an item that you can farm in basically multiple places, but I'm going to be showing you the absolute most efficient place that you can farm this by far, right? So let's take a look at the map. I'm going to tell you how you can get here, right? If you don't know this area. The most of you probably know, but maybe you don't know. So this is the Outlands area. This is the expansion. This is the area from the TBC expansion, right? The Burning Crusade. And basically, there is a portal in both of the major cities. So in the Horde, if you're on the Horde, it's Orgrimmar, and if you're on the Alliance, it's going to be Stormwinds, right? So in both of those major capital cities, you're going to find a portal to a place that is going to be called Satras, right? So you can just take that portal. Once you are here in Satras, you just basically fly up to Netherstorm. And once you are here in Netherstorm, you want to come to this place, right? To Kirin Bar Village, this one specifically, right? And this is the place where there's going to be the biggest mob density of these mobs, while also having a lot of mobs together that basically they just drop you the mode of mana, right? Because in a lot of other places, there are, a few of these mobs that are going to be dropping you some modes of mana, but basically they are not going to be only dropping that mode of mana. There's basically going to be some other mobs that we are not interested in. They are not dropping the mode of mana, right? So all of these ones, I'm going to enable the nameplate so you can see all of these ones that you are seeing here pretty much. All of them, absolutely all of them, have a chance of dropping you the mode of mana, right? Now, I'm going to show you exactly the area so you can see it better. So actually, wait, I'm gonna get on this building so I can show you better. Yeah, okay. Character backs a bit, but it's fine. So you can see all this area, the one that I'm exactly hovering, right, and pretty much all around, right, all like slightly around, right, you can see like little bit here over the border. As long as you are seeing any of these mobs, of course, you can hit them and farm them, and they'll have a chance, right? But pretty much there, all this little area, right? Because you see there are some more houses in here, and there's like this big turret in the middle and so on. But the thing is, these are going to be some other different mobs that they're not going to be dropping you the amount of mana, right? You can tell because they are basically humanoids, even though they are kind of ghosts. I mean, they are undead technically, but yeah, they're not going to be dropping you the primal mana, the motion mana, right? So yeah, only these two are going to be dropping the item, right? The Mage Slayer and the Mana Seeker, right? So now, how to farm this efficiently, right? First of all, I'm going to say this right away. You can technically farm this solo, but it's going to be way worse, okay? I wouldn't recommend it. If you farm this solo, you are not going to have a great experience, okay? You are not going to make a good amount of gold per hour. Well, there's a little bit of a chance of you getting maybe some transmog, maybe some blue item that, is worth a little bit on the auction house, but generally speaking, this is not worth it, right? And especially if you're just looking to farm the reagent, the moto mana, the primal mana, it's just not worth it to do alone, right? It's very low gold per hour, but I'm gonna show you how you can quickly find people in order to farm this with a few other people, because as long as you have a few other people and you're doing this together, then this farm is going to be extremely profitable. I'm talking easily 50k plus or more gold per hour, right? So it's gonna be really good. Now, first of all, obviously, if you have anybody that you want to farm that you have somebody to farm this with, obviously you invite them, right? But as the majority of us, we don't really have people to farm this with, I recommend you to go and do this, right? You go to this little green eye icon here called the group finder. You click on it, and you go to pre-made groups, right? So in pre-made groups, you're gonna go to custom. You click on start a group, and now you're gonna put a name, right? Now you can put either Moto Mana Gold Farm, or you can put Primal Mana Gold Farm, right? Both things are fine. But it's really important that you put Gold Farm at the end, because a lot of people are not gonna know this Gold Farm, and if you don't specify that this is a Gold Farm, maybe a lot of people are not gonna join, right? But as long as you put Gold Farm, somebody that is interested in making gold, even if they don't know, they might be curious. They might be like, what is this? I kind of wanna check what this farm is about, right? So yeah, once you do this, I'll recommend you to put on the playstyle learning or relax. I wouldn't recommend you to put competitive at all, because people are gonna get scared basically, and carry offer doesn't even make any sense. So either learning or either relax, right? Probably relax is possibly the best, right? Just basically do this. I wouldn't really put any minimum item level, because the thing is, these mobs are going to be from the TBC expansion, which is the first expansion in the entire game. So these are really, really old items, old mobs, right? So they are really low level. They are level 30, and as long as you are like level, I believe, not sure if it's 50 or 60, somewhere around that, you're gonna be basically one-shotting them with a basic Moonfire spell, right? Now, I recommend you to do this on a druid and possibly invite more druids if you can, although it's not required. You can do this, as I'm saying, on any class, but basically on druids is slightly better, because you can use the cat form, which is slightly faster than the normal walking form. And then on top of that, if you are using the correct talents, I'm going to show you, there's a talent here, this one. You will need to be using the cat specialization, I believe, the feral, yeah. And on talents, you're gonna go for this one, right? Lunar Inspiration. It says, Moonfire is usable in cat form, costs 30 energy, and generates 1 combo point. So the thing is, Moonfire is extremely efficient to farm this, because basically it's gonna allow you to instantly farm the mobs, right? As you can see, it instantly kills them, and it doesn't have a cast time, and it doesn't really uses any mana. It uses energy, which refills extremely fast, right? So basically, if you're doing this solo, you are not gonna be able to to make the enemies respawn extremely fast, or the technical word for that, which is hyper spawn. But as long as you are like two, not sure if it's two, but for sure with 3 people, right? If you are with 3 people, 100% you're gonna be able to basically hyper spawn these guys, which basically means that you're going to be able to make them appear very, very close to you, and then you're going to be able to kill them faster, and they're going to respawn faster, and then you kill them faster again, right? So basically it's going to be extremely efficient, and the amount of kills, the amount of mobs that you're going to get per hour is going to increase absolutely massively. And this is what is going to allow you to reach really good amount of gold per hour, as I'm saying, somewhere around 50k plus per hour, or even more, right? And this is by the way, just looking at the material, right? I'm not really talking about any of the other things that could be involved, as any potential transmog drops or anything like that, right? But yeah, I wanted to keep this video focused on the material because I have done a lot of transmog farms, and this one is one that I have found that is not transmog specific, right? So yeah, you can see really easy, really nice gold farm, right? Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you found this video useful. Do not forget to consider leaving a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye bye.